Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, I'm gonna have kind of a quick hitter today for you. Just gonna kind of cover some weights. I know I do like technique videos, different grip stuff, grip equipment, compilations of like highlights, lifting and competition, or just feats of strength. So, there's always a lot of different stuff that I can cover. But one of the things I've done is just kind of give more details and break down some of the not necessarily vintage, but just different weights that I train with. Some happen to be a little older and more valuable. Some, don't cost anything, but they're really cool to train with, and they're just still pretty awesome pieces, or they're still rare. Um, so just wanted to kind of do a video on these Dan Lurie 100-pound plates that I have. The only other person I've seen that maybe has these plates, and I'm not big in like the weight collecting world or anything like that. So maybe Alex Gia in New York, and then James Fuller, who goes by Strongman Archaeology. I've seen him do a lot of lifts and stuff with the Dan Lurie plates, and just a different variety of standard plates, and just all sizes of different plates. But yeah, James Fuller goes by Strongman Archaeology. He has a lot of videos where he'll do some more old school lifts, odd lifts, just stuff that's outside of the normal, your everyday training stuff. So if you're looking for any kind of old school, old strongman style stuff, just maybe some things that have been forgotten about in lifting, check out Strongman Archaeology or some of James Fuller's stuff. So I bring him up for these plates, not only because he has them, but I talked to him when I was considering buying these when I first saw them pop up, and he kind of convinced me to go ahead and do it. So that was one of the pushes that, I don't know, nudged me to make the purchase. So just to get into these, they aren't like the most rare plates, but I definitely have not seen many of them around, and they're really tall. So I want to say at the top, just all the way across the height of them, you're probably looking at about a little over 20 inches, like 20 1/4 inches, pretty much. They're about 1.5 inches thick, and with these being 1.5 inches thick, it is possible, or it's very easy to do one-handed picks with them. It kind of puts you in more of a crimped up position if you want to get on the lip, or maybe you can have the thumb sort of straight and catch that lip, but then the fingers have to come up and crimp. But you're pretty much using that little bit of ledge that you have here. And I'm going to have all the videos brought up to where you can see kind of the depth of it, the lettering, whatever. But also, yeah, that would put it at about a 3-inch pinch, putting two together. And I only bring that up because the day I bought them, that night when I got home, I tried to pinch two of them, a two-handed pinch, but two plates together. And yeah, you have that little bit of lip that you can hold on to on both sides, but that also doesn't really line up in the best position for you to get like the best squeeze on it. So that was a feat that I really underestimated with these. Just pinching two 100-pound plates in general, just any kind. I mean, if you talk about just a vertical, no wrist flexion, no angling, super tall plates, just picked from the ground. Man, definitely up there with some of the better lifts I've probably done, as far as like just random feats that aren't really as well known. You probably have seen, if you watch my videos, maybe you've seen some of these combo lifts I'm talking about, but I've done a lot of different combos where I'll just pick it up kind of by the lip, put some stuff in my other hand, kind of make it, a little more challenging, or just add that in. And you're still picking up 100 pounds. So it's like, just having a very, very difficult 100-pound dumbbell in the other hand with whatever, bigger, like elite feats of grip strength that I'm trying to pull off. So it's just another puzzle, another, piece of the puzzle, or another tool that gets mixed in. And, but yeah, so just some of those things, like lifting the inch dumbbell blobs, that's going to be a lot of the stuff I do for grip, or just the combos. There's only so much, but for these, I'll bring some of those videos up. I'll bring up the video of me pinching them with two hands. It took so long to break ground because you don't want those plates to slide or move or anything. So, but yeah, another thing about these plates, they have the 1-inch hole, they're standard plates. So they're just not as popular anymore, meaning the 1-inch standard plates are not as popular. But man, for people in grip, people like Luke Raymond from Arm Assassin Strength Shop, he makes a standard loading pin. So it's just got that skinnier 1-inch, like steel loading pin. And I only bring that up. Obviously, something like this might cost a little bit more because they are kind of rare and it's 200 pounds of weight. But when getting into it, if you were to, oh man, grippers are expensive. The bars and grip are expensive. The handles are expensive. Blobs are expensive. Everything, everybody has different amounts of money and what they're willing to spend on certain things to train. But I will say this, if you have a loading pin, you can get the standard 1-inch loading pin size and standard plates on Marketplace or anywhere online, stupid cheap. So just depends on what you're willing to lift with or what you want to do. But I think that's an overlooked thing sometimes for people that are lifting or training in general is I was always that way. I had no use for standard plates. I was always lifting on Olympic plates. But over time, some grip challenges and some other things like pinching, I don't know if you can see them, but there's 2 50-pound pancakes over here. I got another 100-pound pancake, just completely flat on the sides. But stuff like that, it caused me to get different standard weights for grip challenges. But then, once I got the loading pin and other setup, it's like, I just use this for certain things when I'm, training on my handles or other equipment. So it's really nice to have both loading pins, whether it be a standard or Olympic size loading pin. It's nice to have both, and it's good to just have different plates of different heights, different widths, and everything else to train with. The only downfall for lifting these, I shouldn't say downfall. I'll bring the picture up. They're a little bit bigger than regular 45s, so I put a York milled 45 up here, and it basically just covers the inside lettering, and then you just have the lip, that rounded edge that is sticking out. If you were a shorter lifter, lifting with these really tall, wide plates, if they were between your legs and you're straddling them on a loading pin, that might get in the way of your legs or, mess up the lift. So that is the only bad thing about having such a big plate. It's nice to not stack the pin up this way because you have so much weight at the bottom. But at the same time, these plates are, wider than regular 45s. So if you're standing, you might have to adjust your stance if you had something like this. But it really just depends on the lifter and what they want to do. But I just bring that stuff up because I see probably 95, 99% of people lifting in grip on loading pins. They're Olympic loading pins, and they are only using Olympic plates. And there's a lot of money that can be saved, and there's a lot of cool plates that, have the standard 1-inch hole. And sometimes you'll even see plates that have been drilled out, like some York plates will have like the 1-inch standard hole, but then they'll be bored out to like a 2-inch or somewhere made that way. So, for these, I just kind of left them as natural. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to change it. I already have a standard loading pin. So I'm, decently tall. So they don't really bother me with the stance and how I stand. But yeah, so other than just kind of pulling out some, cool combo lifts, maybe farmers walking them or something, doing the double lift like I brought up. Yeah, there's not a ton of stuff that you could do with these that you couldn't do with other stuff, but it's just another option, and it's kind of a unique, cool plate. I really like the that big kind of like cartoonish lettering. The lettering is raised up really good. The casting on this is good on both sides of these plates. There's obviously some casting defects, but for the most part, they're in really good shape. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff I can do with them that other plates can't do. And, as long as they're useful, I'll probably have them around and not get rid of them, But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a closer look at this, just checking out the plates, show you some cool lifts, and just kind of talk about standard plates kind of having their place and being cheaper these days, if anybody was interested to go that route. But yeah, other than that, that's probably going to be it. So I'm going to plan on doing some more of these videos with like the, weights I've collected or weights that I have around the gym. So some stuff will be about the items themselves. Other things might be about the technique of a specific lift. And like I said, that road is endless. So just because this is a weight video where I'm talking in depth about a certain pair of plates doesn't mean that you can't, hey, Zach, can you do a video on this, that, whatever, so just put whatever topic in the comments, something. Generally, it's going to be more, weight training and grip related. But yeah, anything that's in that realm or that subject, go ahead and drop it below, and I'll see what I can do, see if I can get to it and answer it the best I can. And if I already have something or have it here, yeah, so no problem. So yeah, from there, just go ahead and get ready to sign off here. But if you see a pair of these, try to get them. They're pretty cool plates, and I doubt they're going to get any cheaper. So, if you're lucky enough to get them, there's a lot of different stuff you can do with them. Mix them in, have fun. But yeah, overall, that's going to do it for this one. Just leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.